Everyone, welcome back to another week rotations video. We're on now week number, I think, 59 in the series where I show you everything I've worn all through the week. And it's everything from my collection. So some things may be designer, some things may be niche or indie, but most of them are me cheapies because that is what I enjoy collecting and what this whole channel is about. Starting off actually on the first work day of last week, because I've already covered Sunday since I recorded my video late last week. So going off on the first work day, which is on Monday, wore one that is a recent addition to my collection. I've seen this everywhere, especially this line from Lattafa, and I saw this one pop up and about. It was very cheap at TJ Maxx where I got it. It was like $15 or so, and it smells really great, very familiar to something I already have and that I've actually wanted to get for a while. But it is this one from their Hayati series, and this is Al Maleki by Hayati. I believe that's what it's called. So Hayati Al Maleki or Maliki, I don't know how you pronounce it. This is the blue one. I know there's also a black bottle, which is a different, I think it's like maybe YSLY, something like that. But this one is very, very sweet, fresh on the top. This is very reminiscent to something like Paco Rabanne Phantom. Some people even say Phantom Parfum because it does have a little more depth to it, a little bit of an earthiness, more ambers. Some people even say it has like a little bit of an animalic nature to it. It's definitely is not just the overdosed vanillic sweet harshness that the original Phantom is known for. This actually has a little more character to it. I know I also have AI back here, AI by Parfums Belcan, which is their clone on Phantom, but I think that one has way more of that rhubarb note, very earthy, a little dry, woody. It's an amazing fragrance, by the way. It's one of my favorite ones, a little green as well. It's gonna be like a spring staple to me. This one is a little more on the sweet side, a little more ambery, not as rhubarb heavy as that one. Like I said, more of it in between the original and the Parfum version, but yeah, very fresh, light, perfect for spring days, even a little bit in the summer, maybe summertime at night, and perfect for fall time as well. Yeah, really good. I know as it sits on my shelf and matures, like most Lattafas, it will get way better. But yeah, one that I'm not really too rushed on trying to get rid of it or just seeing what it's like. I'm giving this time and its due, especially as we get into the spring season here soon. But yeah, not phenomenal performance, like right at or a little under average. But like I said, I'm gonna let it sit on the shelf and see if it gets better as I wear it through the next season. That nighttime, I just used it on my other samples that I had from Zaharoff. I think it was Signature Pour Homme Extreme. So I've already talked about that one a whole lot, so I'm not gonna mention that. So going on to the next work day on Tuesday, wore one, and actually a lot of the ones from the gift set that I opened up from Gulf Orchid on my last live stream. It was the Sweet Heaven line, so a lot of different takes on the Angel Share / Kamra DNA. And this one is definitely freshest, more for a warm weather kind of scent. And since it was a little warmer last week, like in the mid to low 70s, it gave perfect way to wear it. And this one is, again, from Gulf Orchid. It is Sweet Heaven Ice. At first, because of the look of the bottle, I thought it was going to be a take on Ginger Moon Dash by Killian, but definitely nowhere near that, nowhere in the note profile, none of that stuff. But this one's a little different. Like, it definitely starts off very aquatic blue, effervescent, very citric on the top, a lot of sweetness as well, along with that kind of Kamra Angel Share DNA, which lends it to being a very close opening to Carolina Herrera's Bad Boy Cobalt. Very, very close, but as it starts going through the fragrance, it actually gets up a lot more of an aquatic, marine, oceanic, almost funky kind of profile to it, little marine, which actually smells more like a mixture of things like Mega Mare by Orta Parisi or Megara or Chaos in the Ocean or Lattafa's Atlas mixed with Angel Share and Kamra. So you get the fresh aquatic, almost funkiness and airiness of like Mega Mare, things like that, and the sweetness of Kamra or Angel Share. Very unique, very different, but if you want a fresher take on Angel Share Kamra, this is definitely it. It's actually really nice, very well balanced, very smooth, and very surprising as well. It's a small bottle, it's very cheap in the gift set that I got it in, but yeah, phenomenal. And actually, spoiler alert, all of these are really good, all the ones I got in the gift set. So yeah, glad I got this, but I'm gonna really be testing this out as it gets more in the springtime, and I'm gonna see what it's like in the summertime as well. And also great performance as well, lasted almost the whole work day, like 6 hours, maybe a little over. So really great, a great compliment getter as well, but it will have a little bit of that weird oceanic funk, so be aware of that. Then that nighttime, wore one that I got in on my recent big under the radar haul video, like the cheapie haul that I did recent, and I'll put a link to it right here. And this was, I think, the third one I opened up in the video. I was very excited to get it because I've been looking at it for a while, especially since I heard it was a good alternative to Beau de Jour by Tom Ford, which I absolutely love that fragrance. And this one I've heard is very close, and I tried it out, and I have my own thoughts about it, but again, I'm gonna give it its own time and dues as we go through. But it's this one here by Davidoff, and it's hyped in the community. It is Zeno right here. I know there's a lot of vintage batches people say you have to get. It's changed, it's been reformulated, and I don't know about all that. Maybe at some point, if I get a chance, I will get those older batches. But this one was very interesting. It did start off with that very sharp, harsh, almost animalic, patchouli kind of opening, very cheap, but as it dried down and as it got way into the night on my clothes and on my skin, it did have very close resemblance to things like Beau de Jour, even things like Masculine Pluriel by Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and maybe even a closeness to At the Barber's by Maison Margiela, which I still want to get that fragrance. It's very difficult to get a hold of, but at some point, I'm either going to get one of those three, Beau de Jour, Masculine Pluriel, or At the Barber at some point, because I just love that profile. But I will say, as this dried down, it got very close to that profile and that overall gist you get from his fragrances. Very nice, very smooth, and like I said, way better quality and way better than that opening. But if you can get past that opening, it will smooth out a good bit. But again, not one that I'm really completely sold on. I do want to see if I can get some different bottles, and maybe it's just mine here, but I will give it its time. I will sit on the shelf and see if it smooths out over time. But yeah, I do like it overall, but not what I immediately expected. It had okay performance, by the way. I didn't spray a whole lot on because I was afraid of how strong that opening would be. So I imagine if I did spray a little bit more like I usually do on, it will probably project a little more and have more of that better dry down in the air as it goes through. I did smell this well into the night, especially on my clothes. Even until the next morning when I woke up, I smelled a little resemblance on my clothes, my bedclothes and things like that. So performance on this is pretty okay, a little maybe right under average, depending on, again, how you wear it, what you do. But yeah, one I do still like. If you can get past that opening, it's a great, like, old school barbershop masculine fragrance. Very similar to those other things I talked about. But yeah, still want to keep wearing this. Want to see what it's like. It is very old school masculine, but if you like that kind of stuff, this is a great one to go with. Then that next day, the work day on Wednesday, wore another one that I picked up in my Under the Radar haul video. And this is one that I was very curious about. I wasn't really sold on it completely in the video, and I mentioned it, even though I was excited to get it, kind of like the Zeno one here. But as I wore it, I did really like it, but some things did kind of fall off a little bit. But it's this one by Frank Olivier, and it is Sun Java for Men Intense. This one was very, very interesting when I first sprayed it on the test strip, and as it dried on the test strip, it did get better. This is one that has a very aromatic, herbal opening with a little bit of a sweet, airy, almost fruitiness in there, almost resembling a tropical kind of vibe with a lot of aromatics and a lot of like almost harsher herbs, a little darker, a little hefty, and a good bit of freshness in there as well. A little oceanic, but not really too much. You can tell there's almost a little bit of a semblance of an aquatic freshness in the background, a little bit of ambers, a little balsamic as well. Very interesting. It was way better on skin than it was on the test strip, and as it wore through the day, it got way better as well, which as it wore through the day, it did dry off pretty quickly, so I did have to refresh this when I was on my lunch break, which is only like 3 or 4 hours from when I first sprayed it. So it doesn't really give off the best performance, especially as far as longevity, but projection, it is pretty okay. I did have people compliment it just a little bit, but yeah, one that I did really like, but I'm not completely sold on. Again, I am more interested probably in the other flankers. I know there's Sun Java White. I think there's another one besides the original, and I am interested in getting those. There's a lot of Frank Olivier stuff that I really want to get because I've really come to love the brand, especially after trying Excellence. I really am liking it. I do want to get Oud Vanille and Black Touch and things like that. But yeah, do want to try out all those. But this one here is almost a miss. I do want to keep trying it. I can see it as being a great spring fragrance, even in summertime. But spring, I think, with the green herbs in here, I think would be way better, more complimenting of the season. But yeah, I did like this one, but I still have to keep wearing it and see what I think about it. But so far, it's a kind of meh, but not too bad overall. Then nighttime, had a midweek church service to go to, and I tried another one from the Gulf Orchid Sweet Heaven set that I got, and this one is Sweet Heaven Extreme. So if you heard me talk about the original Sweet Heaven, how I thought that was gonna be way closer to Angel Share Camera and actually got off being more dry, woody, almost balsamic, this one is the way closer one to Angel Share Camera, which you'd expect out of that profile. It's probably almost all that with a little bit of a boost in the aromatics. Very sweet, boozy, a little deeper fruitiness, a little vanilla, a little spice. Like I said, a lot of aromatics in here, which adds, again, another little twist to it. All of these are definitely twists on those profiles. But this one is way more enjoyable, and just like the name says, extreme, it is way deeper, way more robust, way better projecting, way better longevity. It is very hefty, and these atomizers push out a whole lot. So be careful. Even if you get the full-size bottle, I imagine it's going to be the same atomizer. It will spray a lot, so be careful how much you spray if you do get any of these. And by the way, all of these perform very well. But yeah, this one way closer to that profile. Very different still from the original Kamran, even what I have down here, Shiroff blend. Very different from those. Again, had a little bit of its own twist and things to it. I know the Schroff blend is way more in the dates, a little woodiness. This one is way more in the aromatics. Calm by itself was just overbearingly sweet. This had a little more tameness to it rather than the original Calm, but still really good, very much in that same profile, way more for colder weather, and it was cold that night, so it fit perfect. But yeah, love this stuff. It really does make me want to try out more things from Gulf Orchid, because so far these are the only things that I have from them. But so yeah, if you do have any from Gulf Orchid or hear about any that are very hyped, or if you tried some out and you think they're really good, leave me a comment down below on which other Gulf Orchid fragrance I should try out next. But yeah, so far I'm really loving these and I highly recommend them. Really, really good. Then the next workday wore one that has kind of made its rounds a little bit in the fragrance community as being a great cheapie, especially compared to a lot of the other higher end designers and things that are way more expensive. This hit discounters and got cheap very, very quickly. And a lot of people say it's one of the better ones, or at least more versatile ones in the line. I personally think the Elixir version of this is the best, and I really do want to get the New York flanker, and apparently there's another one coming out as well. But this one I do really like from Ralph Lauren and their Rouse Club. This is Parfum. I picked this whole huge honking bottle up from a Ross Dress for Less for I think $59.99 or maybe $69.99, which is still really good, very much contending on the price that is online and things like Fragflex, Fragrance Net, and things like that. Very much in the same style as, you know, the other Rouse Club flankers. Very aromatic, woody, very fruity, sweet, very, very sweet actually. And this one is a little more deep on the sweetness, a little more heightened on that, almost bubblegum style sweetness, a little aromatic, tad spicy, but more what you get is just sweet aromatics, a little woody, a little fresh. It is very nice. Even though it is a Parfum flanker, it does not quite perform like a Parfum. It projects okay for the first little bit, but as it dries down, it does get very intimate to the skin, so much so where it's almost unnoticeable. Then again, maybe it is just, you know, no going nose blind to it. Maybe it is stronger than what I think and it just wears off a little too quick to my nose. But yeah, I do like this one. Very enjoyable, a huge compliment getter, great for most of the year round, probably except for the high heat of summer, especially in the daytime, but you can definitely pull it off at nighttime and if you're indoors and air conditioned. But yeah, great for almost any kind of use, date night, formality, casual, out and about, chilling at home, office, whatever. It's a great one to go with. Like I said, I wore this one to work, so you can wear it the same way as well. But I still think the Elixir is my favorite, definitely better performing than this, but still, this one is a great versatile one, just a spray up blind spray, like just a blind reach. You know, if you don't know what else to get, you grab it and go. You can guarantee you're gonna smell good. One that I really like, but again, there's some other flankers that I want to get and other flankers that I still enjoy rather than this. I know the EDT is way more cheap, so if you like to go for a fresher, more inexpensive route, that's a great one to go with. But if you do have this one or have the chance to get it, try it out and just see what you think about it. Then at nighttime, I'm not gonna talk a whole lot about this one because I wore this last week as well, especially right after I got it. Like the day I got it, I wore it that very same night and blind sprayed it. Didn't even spray it on a test strip first, just sprayed it on my skin and went out the door. And it was a great blind reach as well because I did really enjoy this one. But a very recent release from Lattafa in their Assad line is making the rounds everywhere. It's very, very hyped, but it is none other than Assad Elixir. I will be doing my own kind of short fragrance review covering this one. It's not too cheap right now. It's like right at $50 at most discounters, but I imagine over time it will get definitely significantly cheaper. I'm hopefully well under $40. But yeah, very much in line with things like Boss Bottle Elixir, Boss Bottle Absolute. Also close to things like Jasada's Ambassador Intense, or is it Ambassador Extreme? One of the two. The one that smells very close to things like Dior Sauvage, but it has a very close resemblance to Boss Bottle Elixir as well. But this falls, I think, in between the Elixir and the Absolute. Some people say it's right on the Absolute because of the note breakdown. But from the smell, from what I get, I think it's between the two. If you like either of them, you're gonna love this one. It has a little more twist on a freshness on the top as well. And there's a few notes that are different from either of the two fragrances, but still love this one. Fantastic, great for fall, winter, mostly probably nighttime because it does have a little bit more of a darkness and a depth to it. But yeah, I love it though. For some reason, the cap is hard to get on and off, but man, I do love the stuff. Very resinous, ambery, balsamic, spicy, a little smoky, and has a nice little tobacco note in there as well, but love the stuff. Fantastic. Again, I'm gonna do my own little whole video talking about it at some point soon, so be looking for that one in the future. The next day on Friday, wore one that has been hyped in the fragrance community, especially the cheapie community, forever. And no thanks to Jeremy Fragrance for hyping this one up even more, making it more popular to the masses, especially people who are first getting into fragrances. It is by Mont Blanc and it is none other than the one and only Individual. Like I said, he hyped this one up so much that everyone and their mama went out online and at rack stores and whatnot buying it up, and some people claiming that it was discontinued and that they no longer made it and it was going to run out, so people bought it up even more. But you can still find it readily available literally everywhere for dirt cheap, and it is a great solid buy for the price you can get it at. It has a little bit of a retro old school feel, so people who want something that's way more modern might not like this one, but it does have a little bit of a modern twist and sweetness to it that some people may enjoy if you like things nowadays, but it does have those little old school musk and spices that were back then in the mid 2000s or early 2000s, but it's very much almost like a fresh laundry, clean linen kind of scent, very powdery, very spicy, also has a noticeable raspberry note on the top, so you can think of clean linen sheets with a raspberry drop in there. A little fruity sweet, but not overly bearing like juicy fruity, just a little bit of a kick of fruit sweetness in there. Like I said, a little spice, a lot of sandalwood in here, which makes it very close to things like Original Santal by Creed, and actually the same perfumer did this one as that. I think it was actually Pierre Baudin who did this and Original Santal the same way he did Green Irish Tweed and Cool Water by Davidoff. So yeah, pretty cool stuff there, interesting factoids. And it's actually very versatile for what it is. You can wear it at an office, you can wear it out and about in formal gatherings, you can wear it in, date night settings as well, because it has a little bit of that sweetness, that cleanliness to it. I think it's more suited for seasons like spring and fall particularly, maybe sometime in the summer if you're light on the sprays or if it's nighttime. And the wintertime might be a little too cool for it unless you wear it like in the very beginning or end of winter where it's a little warmer. But yeah, love the stuff, phenomenal. It's been hyped for a reason. Like I said, you see it, we're out and about everywhere. It has a nice, almost sexy masculinity to it, and it's been hyped for a good reason. So if you haven't got your hands on this and you've heard everywhere about it, just go ahead and go out, spend the $20 to get a ball of this. You're not wasting much money, and I can almost guarantee that you're gonna like how this one smells, or at the least begin to appreciate and respect how this one comes across. So yeah, really like this one, really enjoy it, highly recommend it. Then that nighttime, myself, wife, and baby went out to get groceries, do a little pickup, and actually went over to her parents' house to visit with her grandmother and her mom and dad, things like that, and show off the baby and all that good stuff. And wore one that is the last one I'm trying out from the Gulf Orchid Sweet Heaven set, and the one that I was most interested in, and the one I've heard actually way more about than anything else. It is Sweet Heaven Cherry, and you can guess what Comra / Angel Share profile mixed with cherry is going to smell like. It's going to smell absolutely addictive, and I said it in the live stream when I first talked about the first impressions of this, that it was actually more like a melted cherry popsicle. Like it had a little bit of freshness, but still that sweet cherry aspect to it, while not being a full like tart realistic cherry, not like Banana Republic's dark cherry and amber, but more of a still synthetic cherry, but more sweet than it was medicinal. It had none of that like cough syrup weird vibe to it that you mostly get with some cherry fragrances. It was actually very enjoyable, very smooth, has some nice cleanliness to it, and like I said, a lot of that sweetness, vanilla, a little bit of spice, that little bit of a clean freshness in the base, a lot of coumarin, tonka bean kind of style in there. Really, really, really enjoyable, and this is so sexy. And I think it's fresh enough where you can probably wear this in the daytime in the winter and fall, maybe a little bit in spring as well. But yeah, this stuff is great, phenomenal, really enjoy it. If you don't have any of the Gulf Orchid Sweet Heaven ones, I'd highly recommend either the extreme one or this one. I really like this. I'm probably gonna get a full ball of this at some point if I ever run out of this little bitty travel size one here. But yeah, phenomenal, great performance as well. Smelled it even the next day when I woke up on my bedclothes. But really, I would recommend all of the Sweet Heaven ones, especially if you see like the same gift set that I saw at TJ Maxx. Just go ahead and pick that thing up, especially if it was for like the $32 that I got it at. Do not hesitate, don't even blink, go ahead and pick that thing up, because especially if you love sweet fragrances, or if you need some more sweet fragrances in your collection like I do, you will very much appreciate how all of those come across. Like I said, the Comra Angel Share profile, but with a lot of twists in every one of them. So yeah, not redundant to own even if you have Angel Share, because I think you'll appreciate the kind of twist and creativity that Gulf Orchid put on those. So yeah, love this one, highly recommend it. And today, Saturday, was Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to all of you out there. I know you're probably watching this after the fact, but I'm still gonna wish you a happy Valentine's Day. And in case you didn't know, I actually uploaded a Valentine's Day specific video, talk about some scents that'd be great for any kind of dates, whether Valentine's or after or before. So put the link right here, go watch that if you haven't already. And today, my wife and I decided to do something special. We don't get a whole lot of alone time, especially with little man. We just, focus on him and have a lot of busyness and craziness between him and church and work and all kind of other stuff. So we decided to actually drop him off at my parents' house. They were excited to take care of him. They took him out, had their own day with him, had some grandparents and grandkid time and things like that. And me and her went out and about and ate and shopped around, had a good time, just reconnecting and rejoining, and decided since it was such a special occasion, I wanted to wear a very special fragrance, even if it was just in a sample, because of the luxury and the feel, but in the name and all that and the hype behind what this scent is, I decided to wear it out and about with just me and her, and it's by none other other than one of the most hyped niche fragrances, most hyped cologne fragrances in all of the fragrance community, besides a lot of other ones out there. But this one more particularly for unisex, feminine, masculine, whatever, is by Maison France Cardigan, and it is the one and only Baccarat Rouge 540. Wore a sample of this mug that I got, and it's the original, so not the extrait, but the original eau de parfum. And this one was everything that you'd expect and everything you ever smelled in Baccarat Rouge 540, whether it be the absolute cheapest clone or a twist here or a twist there or the original. Really, it all smells the exact same. And I am actually going to do a video on how does it compare, comparing this one to even like Anna Abiad Rouge that I have, maybe some other Baccarat Rouge 540 things that I'm going to get at some point, including, you know, Clearly Untold and all kind of things like that. But maybe more particularly that one, the Toffa one, because it is super cheap. So how does that super cheap clone compare to the original? And I'm probably gonna make a series out of that called How Does It Compare? But this one, the original, again, Baccarat Rouge 540, it is very airy, a lot more fresh than you'd expect, actually. A lot of clones out there decide to make it very hefty, sweet, syrupy almost, but this, the original, is actually a lot more fresh than you'd expect, a little aquatic, very clean. It has that wispy sweetness, but people, you know, a lot of etomoltol, which people call it like a candy floss kind of profile and vibe in there, a lot of oak moss as well, a little bit of a mossy earthiness, almost a slight animalic quality to it, as way into the dry down, especially if you spray a whole lot on, you'll get a little bit of that. And of course, saffron, which is one of the most notable notes in here, giving a little bit of a light spiciness in here. But overall, it's what you'd expect out of Baccarat Rouge 540. Light, airy, fresh sweetness with a little bit of a mossy, earthy, slight spicy base to it, while all being very effervescent, musky, light, and fresh and uplifting. But I did really enjoy this. It had great performance as well. I still smell it even on me right now, especially on my clothes. And even though I sprayed this on like almost 9 hours ago or so, but yeah, very great. But if you've smelled any Baccarat Rouge 540 clone out there, no matter if it was $5 to $50, it's going to smell very close to this, because this is a very, even though it's very hyped, it's still synthetic, it's still very simple in its whole profile. Ask any perfumer out there, they'll tell you that it is very simple to make and recreate, but still the luxury behind this, the very specific ingredients and stuff that, you know, Maison France Cardigan probably had at his disposal, is what gives it a little bit more of its originality than being exactly, you know, but for the most part, if you smelled one, you smelled them all. Enjoyable nonetheless. If you don't have anything Baccarat Rouge 540, or if you don't like it, then I understand. But if you do want something like that, there's a lot of clones out there. Go ahead and get it, enjoy it. You heard it here. I will admit that I did enjoy wearing it. I do enjoy the profile, and I am glad that I was able to wear actually the original rather than all the clones out there. That way I can get my head around what the original smells like and know how to gauge it from there. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. And there you guys, all the things I've worn all through the week. Which one of these, if any, stood out to you? Maybe things that you've owned or you've only thought about looking at or you want to buy. You may have questions about it, or just some certain kind of remarks, whether you did like it or don't like it, or just any observations you have. Let me know all about it in the comments below. And as usual, if you enjoy this video, if you like what you've seen here, please consider giving the video a like and a thumbs up. Let me know to keep making these week rotation videos. Like I said, I'm going to try to have some twists on this series as we go throughout the year. And if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, but you do like what you've seen here or what you've seen elsewhere on the channel, I encourage you to please consider supporting this channel by subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you can see all the other things that I'm working on and planning in the background throughout this whole year. I'd love for you to be right along with me on this cheap and inexpensive fragrance journey. And hey, maybe I can even help you discover something new along the way. And there you go, guys. That's all I have for today's video. Again, thank you for being here and for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. And I will see all of you again in the next video. Be blessed.